Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Episode 105. And we were joking off air. There was worries the contract was completely ripped up, but we're back. The three of us, it's like a fucking miracle. We're on the couch at once.
It was nearly, we're saying nearly mutual agreement, Jobby.
Near one of those like quarter flags coming out. Stadium picture. No. We're back. And of course, it's still probably not 100%. It had to be a little bit shorter this week, but a lot of good footy on the weekend. Controversy on the weekend. Our teams all won.
Yeah.
1-0 to the Arsenal and 1-0 to the United. Doesn't quite ring off the tongue, but 1-0 to the Arsenal was on the weekend as well. And a lot of, I guess, shock results in there as well to ANGE and Spurs, because that could be, like you said, but actually by the time this releases, it could be over.
When the result came out, I texted the group chat saying, like, this time tomorrow, Spurs aren't going to have a manager.
Yeah.
Because, like, well, I think that is definitely the biggest result of the weekend. And in terms of, like, the potential outcome of it. If Levy was to persist with Ange here,
that'd be different.
It would definitely.
What's your thoughts? Like, in terms of, we've seen from Ange that Ange has a style of play. He's pretty good once he's got his players playing, I would say. Do you think this is a very similar to an Arteta job that right now he just doesn't have his players? With
I would keep him, right. It's easy to say, right. You know, then compared to being in the situation, but like I just think at this point now you got to like almost just roll the dice on the fact that it can only really go up from here, right? Like 16. So all you need to do is like a couple of good results.
Yeah.
And it will take a little bit of pressure off, you know, and then you can get injury, like you get players back from injury, and hopefully, ideally, the squad just gets back together and you just keep going up, right?
Yeah.
And I also think that we spoke about this last week is that like when you overperform the year prior, it kind of does two things. Like one, it means you can you can only sort of regress, and two, like you set the expectation there.
Yeah, expectations
like,
so high,
so early. You know what I mean? So it like when you perform as well as you did in the first 3 months last year, or 2 months, first month, then like unfortunately, you know, it can raise the pressure in these scenarios. Not that wouldn't be there anyway, because of how bad the run's been.
It's been horrid.
Yeah, well, the 0 wins in 7 and 6 losses.
More losses than Ipswich, I think now.
Yeah,
as well.
I mean,
this is crazy.
Like it is that bad now, to be honest.
The only thing I'll say is this, because we said about this last week, the Mourinho thing. They're in a cup semi-final second leg versus Liverpool.
Yeah. Do
you roll the dice and do you just see that out and see out the Europa League? Like, that's still a bit contentious Europa League.
Yeah.
Surely you see that out and then you readdress.
I just think if you're Spurs, you definitely have to start thinking about taking a different approach. Like, we've seen what Spurs has been like now for decades. And, like,
that's the thing.
Ange's come in and probably showed the most like philosophical way of playing, like probably that Spurs has seen. Maybe Poch had obviously but it was obviously a bit different. He showed for me enough when he has those players. And yes, a good manager will play with the players he has. And the drop-off should not be as significant as it has been. Yes, they don't have players, and yes, there would be a drop-off, but I think it's the significance, as you said, like 6 losses in 7 games, the amount of losses. But I just look at it and I just think of who comes into this team with those injuries, does a better job, who has a higher, I would say, ceiling than Ange. Like, as of the potential managers, like, yes, if you're a Man City and you've come off Pep and you bring in a new manager and the new manager does well in their first year, second year, there's a drop-off like this, no matter the injuries, yes, you sack them. But I think there has to be context provided as well.
Like, they've invested a lot into this Ange team and that philosophy.
But they've invested a lot, but it's not just what they've invested. They've invested, like, into this new style of Ange has always been like, okay, yes, we might not be achieving X, Y, Z straight away and all this kind of kind of stuff, but we're building. They put a lot of eggs
in that basket, right? Which is what you need to do. But
that's just modern football, I think.
Yeah, and I think, to be fair, like it definitely works in Ange's favour that they've been bad for so long now.
Yeah,
that historically they would break the cycle now. You know, as in, okay, this is so bad, we're going to sack him. Whereas like probably similarly to United a little bit under Ten Hag there when it was getting pretty bad.
Really bad, yeah.
Was that it was like, well, we keep doing this and it does nothing ever changes.
Yeah.
So we might as well persist and try and see it out and do like, I feel like Arsenal sort of set the mold a little bit with Arteta when we finished, you know, like eighth, right? Like, you know, if you actually look how bad we were, like it was grim. Like we weren't progressing, like on paper at least. So I think that's kind of maybe laid the foundation, and then these other club owners are looking at it like, okay, well, you know, in the past I've done this. He's going to get the sack at this point.
Yeah,
hasn't done anything. So maybe luckily for Ange, in a sense, if he does survive this, I would say it's relatively unprecedented, at least for Spurs.
For Spurs,
for Spurs. But do you think
right.
Spurs,
so it's like
Spurs needs to change, and I know it's easy said than done. Change their thought process at the moment though, because I think they're trying too hard to compare themselves to City, to Chelsea, to Liverpool, to those teams who are huge clubs and winners, and that's their thought process on the last 10 years, on managers, on how they're sacking them and stuff like that, when they haven't won anything. Like, they've just gone through a January transfer window now where those clubs there with the injuries, we've seen it purely from City right now, straight away.
Yeah.
Those clubs there with those injuries are bringing in signings.
Yeah, Spurs are going to bring.
Spurs have brought in nothing. They've still got an injury list. We've seen through the season how many they've been training with 7 first-team players.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Like, we're not even talking about a starting 11 there.
Yeah.
And, like, we've also seen how good Ange is with those players and the drop-off Ange has when he doesn't have those players. Like, purely, he literally said in one of those press conferences, they were like, oh, Timo Werner's not playing to, like, your standard on this, and he goes, well, what other choice do I even have? He has to play.
Yeah, you got no one there. Just mate there.
What other choice do I have? Mate. I love it. It's actually so funny.
I don't know. I don't see any reason.
Yeah,
what's the upside of sacking him? I feel like this season already is a write-off. Just give him to the end of the year.
Well, there's no more downside.
But and he still could win shit. He's got 2 trophies that are like reasonable to get. Like Europa League is reasonable, I feel like, because Europa League's not that good. And he's got like a second leg Carabao. If he makes it through and they versus Newcastle, team that also hasn't won a trophy in like 100 years. Like someone's going to win a trophy.
Exactly. It is funny. Is that like they can't really get any worse this year.
It could get really good.
But at the same time though, it's like if you bring in someone new, you're not going to qualify for Champions League in terms of the Prem, right? So it's like, you know, as you said, it's already so far gone that like you at least might as well just see out the season.
Yeah, see how you go.
And let him start the next 2 months next year. And if it's completely if it's shit. Like
not even necessarily see out start the next 2 months. Just let him see out this season, see what happens with those trophies. See what happens if there's any any progression once they need to get back on track. Once there's injuries back, because I don't know. I've always been on the thing of I understand these big clubs have rotation and should be good enough, but we've seen it time and time again pretty much. When there's a hull of injuries, these teams drop off. Obviously, the extent of the drop-off is probably unprecedented. But
it's also the players he's got is young, though. The players that are playing, the average age would be like fucking low. They haven't got any experience out there.
It's so hard, especially with these... You've seen it with the likes of Pep. Especially with these managers with the, I would say, more expansive way of playing. They seem to have the most trouble when there's injuries. So, like, those, like, lower block type people, it's like the next player comes in, because they've got their simple role that they have to play. But these more expansive...
What we were saying is, like, defensively the system, doesn't suit the drop-off in the defensive quality, right?
No.
Because unlike, you know, in this team, it really highlights your defensive players' like one-on-one ability and their own personal ability, right? There's not like, whereas in an Arsenal team, okay, we're 2 of the best centre-backs in the world, but the reality is you could swap in like any centre-back.
Yeah.
And because we're so deep, or, you know, at the moment we're playing it so compact, so deep.
Yeah.
Like,
you cover
incredible.
Up.
You cover up for, you know, they get exposed one-on-one less often, right? So it's like, that is why the drop-off in this team, particularly defensively, with all the injuries, is like so bad. Yeah. Because you're relying on that one-on-one quality, which they just don't have in the ranks, which no club would have.
Yeah, like that's the thing. Like with ANGE, though, that's the only thing. Just get you guys' thoughts to end off. Like, did he lay his own bed though? I know it's manager talk, and you have to say this shit, but like the whole second season thing, and the fact that now they've rinsed that to fucking death this season.
I don't know if he has because he's
still he's doing two tournaments. I don't think.
No. But I'm saying, is that why? Like, has he put his own his words compounded the expectations after title in fucking August last season? Like, I know it's like a passway comment, it's manager talk, whatever, but still, it feels like it's stuck.
It could also, like, at the same time, though, it could be the reason he's still in the job.
Yeah.
Was that like he's convinced everyone, like, no, like, watch.
Yeah, let it plan out.
Okay, I might, like, the reality is for Spurs, a trophy, like, doesn't matter what trophy it is.
Holy grail, yeah.
That is the reality, right? Like, it's not Arsenal, it's not United about winning a Prem, winning, big things. Yeah, we've won the FA Cups, like, we've done all that shit. Like, for Spurs, anything will do at this point, right? So I think almost it's worked in, like, I know what you mean. If he doesn't get anything, then it might be completely done. Yeah. But the reality is he might only still be in this position anyway because, like, the expectations he's kind of laid out. And the fact is that, they have just beaten Liverpool 1-0 in the first leg. And they're on, you would say on track to get to a Carabao Cup final.
Yeah. I feel like I'll tell you what, Newcastle Tottenham final, we might go to fucking the longest penalty shootout ever. No one want to win that trophy. Those two teams are cursed when it comes to trophies.
Game gets like rained out.
Villarreal versus United.
Yeah, generally we'll go like the keepers twice. It'll be a long day. Let's get to the top and the first game of the weekend. The one obviously the recap for yesterday, but Bournemouth 5, Nottingham Forest 0. Talk about shock results. It's got to be close second, surely. Like. You come into this game. We said last week, we were talking about Nuno, manager of the year and stuff. And I said, I always have Areola as my guy, like, sitting there. But if you beat the best manager 5-0, I don't think any of the top 8 have gone there and won there this season. Liverpool to go this weekend, but Arsenal lost there, City have lost there, Newcastle drew
at
Bournemouth.
Yeah, I was going to say.
They've beaten our Forest. I think Chelsea the only team to go there and win this year.
Yeah, they won 2-0.
Yeah, but like you look at it. Like, they dominated this game second up, and they're still playing, like I said, without any striker. They've got Lewis Cook playing right back. Like, it's all over the place. Yet they still, like, they dominated this game. Are we going far to say, is this the Nottingham Forest fall off, or was this just Bournemouth?
I don't think you can say Forest fall off, right? Like, is the
one-off game.
I mean, it's...
But they did just escape a 3-2 versus Southampton last weekend, and then they got battered 5-0 by Bournemouth.
Yeah, but I honestly just reckon that's more like credit to Bournemouth.
Just credit the bank.
Yeah. Like I'm gonna be honest. When I look at Bournemouth now, every single time, and they're in like amazing form, I just think like you absolutely have like he was so early on this. It was unbelievable on the Areola.
I'm gonna take this one.
No, I'll be honest. Every time I see it, it just like annoys me a little bit. Because I'm like, shit, 5-0, damn. But no, I would look at this more so in terms of like just a massive Bournemouth win.
Yeah.
Rather than like this is it for like, this is where Nuno becomes Nuno.
This is the Nuno
and now they get relegated. Can they mathematically still get relegated?
But it's true. Nuno goes in the runs though, and then...
He froths a run. So does Unai Emery.
Like, we'll touch on that in a little bit, but like, even they weren't that impressive. Like, no, I'm not saying, it's going to be like a drastic, drop to fucking bottom half.
Yeah.
But it's been a bit shaky. Like, to just beat Southampton at home...
Yeah, well, if you look at it in the terms of like their Champions League hopes, do I think that Forest are going to finish in the Champions League places? Probably not.
Do you think Bournemouth get fifth?
Nah, maybe...
Because fifth is Champions League this year.
Maybe fifth. But I don't see either of them finishing top 4.
Yeah, because Chelsea will solidify with City come back in.
And City will come back in.
Yeah. So no...
Yeah, well, we'll touch on City.
Yeah. So do you don't reckon either finish fifth? I'm pretty sure fifth this year will get it with the coefficient.
I reckon if it is one of the two, I think it's Bournemouth.
Yeah, you like that?
They just like... I just think that they just... it's purely off like vibes.
Yeah.
But Bournemouth give way more like... Just vibes that, they're actually like genuinely decent.
I think
and Forest maybe are just in like really, really good form.
Forest is more Leicester.
Yeah.
Bournemouth are more like this is
for sure.
a consistent build. Like, this started last year, no win in 9 games, and now they're like 7th, equal points, 1 point off City. Like that's sort of the trajectory. So I feel like it's being built.
I think Newcastle are a bit under the radar as well, especially with
Yeah.
Tonali coming back. Their midfield just looks so.
Well, Newcastle
good.
were on a run, and then obviously Bournemouth
entered that as well.
Bournemouth went and did that. So
They scored 17 goals in 5 games.
yeah, no, that Bournemouth win at Newcastle was
Like, that's a statement. win,
that
isn't it?
wasn't a statement win for sure.
Yeah.
And and that to me just like gives me more. Like I haven't seen Forest do that. I know Forest have won a couple 1-0s and stuff and 1-1s at Anfield.
Taking the point off Liverpool.
That's another thing. But what they went to St James's and won
4-1.
4-1
last week, and then 5-0 this week. Like, that's pretty.
4-1 away in Newcastle when they were like Isak was like 7 goals, 8 games in a row.
8 games in a row. They were 9 wins in a row.
Yeah, it was all perfect, and Bournemouth go and do their thing. So yeah, back to back like massive statement wins.
Do they possibly cause Liverpool trouble? Or did Liverpool just like batter them this weekend?
Oh, this weekend, yes. That's another massive game as well. It's one of those games on paper at the start of the season, you just pencil in the 3.
Yeah.
But the reality is that, I mean, I actually, look, if Liverpool go and win, is it at home?
That's what I'm saying. It's at Bournemouth, where they haven't actually, other than Chelsea, have lost to a big team yet.
This is a game where, like, if you're going to win the league,
you win that
you just win this, right? But on paper, it's like the worst time to versus Bournemouth.
12 unbeaten.
So,
smack 17 in.
Do you think if Liverpool win, they go on to win the league though?
It feels like a game they need to drop points for us to for anyone else to still be in consideration.
If we talk about that turning point season, where if Liverpool drop points and Arsenal win on the back of what happened, obviously we'll get into that game. Like if that happens in the space of 2 weekends, that feels like Arsenal have all the momentum.
I don't think this weekend. I don't think this Bournemouth game will decide the title, right? Like I think
it's more momentum though.
Yeah, well, I get that, but it's also like I can still just see Liverpool dropping 2 games back to back out of nowhere. I can just see that.
You know what my biggest issue is? We've both been on this bandwagon for ages. Are Liverpool going to continually?
Because they did it last year.
Yeah, I know.
Last year.
But
and we absolutely nailed it.
I just watch them week in, week out, and I just now I'm starting to find a little bit of disbelief in that. They just seem to. It's not like they're scraping over the line these days either. They're just easily getting over the line week in, week out. And don't get me wrong,
you say that, but then they go and drew to Forest.
They will have a little patch where they do go downhill, but it doesn't seem like it's going to be a lengthy one. That was my thing last week.
We have City at home on Monday. Shit, I didn't know that.
City got a big few games. We said it last week. You know their little run where they drew like 3 out of 4 games?
Yeah.
Would you count that as a blip? I say Flynn's counted as a blip. Would you count that as a blip?
Well, I think objectively that could be.
I'm just asking.
But is it like
it's not a big one?
Is it the blip you'll remember in the season? I don't think it's that one.
But I'm saying to your point though, is because the way I've seen this year, how composed and calm they are under Slot, is blips now going to be just draws, like 3 out of 5 draws? Like, is that all going to be what a Liverpool blip will be now?
And the length they have between them and Arsenal and maybe City. Around, I wouldn't say City.
I tell you what, this next 5 games does feel like sort of the title, to be honest. Like if you're gonna have a hiccup, Liverpool,
it's gonna be
Bournemouth away, Merseyside derby, Wolves at home, but then City
and they're
away.
playing,
and they have 3 games in 7 days between that Everton game.
Yeah.
So there's a big clump.
If anything's gonna happen,
now's the time.
Yeah, because in that same period we also have City at home, but that's a hiccup.
That's like a derby game now. Nowadays, Arsenal and City.
We have Forest away. There's
some toughies in there,
and then United away. So this next sort of probably month, could on paper kind of looks like
either stays 9 points.
If it's gonna or if that's the way it is when we come out of Feb, then I would say then Liverpool is
I take a real bottle.
Legit. They'd have to bottle it rather than just
not be as good. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'd agree. I'd even say from this point in time, there would have to be something that would seriously have to go wrong because I would expect.
I don't think so.
But Flynn's right though. It takes an injury to Van Dijk or like
for
Graven
sure. But
Birch.
I would say that's something
But look,
seriously
the
going
gap-
wrong.
Oh, okay. So I think in form wise,
The gap is 6 points.
You
Like,
can go-
let's say
and a game in hand.
let's say
Yeah,
I
nine,
know,
it's nine.
I
Okay,
know.
nine,
But let's say they draw. Okay, let's say it's 9. Right,
Yeah,
it's like 9 points.
Yeah.
And then let's the
Yeah, but-
Everton game's the game in hand. So let's
Yeah,
say
but
like
I would say
win
they have to drop at least
9 points.
15 points.
from yeah. Okay.
We're still working
And
this out.
I don't know if they've dropped 15
Yeah.
points yet this season.
I give them. Would I give them 10, 12? What do we
I
give
think
them?
we said 10 to 12.
Yeah,
And
so Arsenal have to
they-
win every game, and Liverpool have to
Essentially,
drop the
Yeah,
max
we said
points,
if we win every single game,
and they drop max,
then we probably win the league.
win the league. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like
I'd agree with that, but I'd think they'd have to at least drop 15 to 18 points.
Okay,
like,
being realistic.
Because you
yeah.
guys were
Yeah.
drawing, like even
Yeah.
if you guys don't lose a game from here,
that's
you
the
might
problem. We
draw
keep
3
drawing.
games.
Like that's the problem. We keep drawing every.
Yeah, a
every
couple,
game.
couple draw merchandise this sense.
Legit, man. It's just
But yeah, great game for going over Bournemouth. They're flying. I'm still gonna. I might ride that. Maybe potentially a 5th place. Knock Newcastle out. They beat Southampton 3-1. Classic Southampton. They looked good for about 10 minutes, and that was about it for them.
Yeah, first 5 minutes of the game.
Yeah, literally they were on fire and they stopped. And then this is a big one. More not the game, just because of the news. Arsenal 1, Wolves 0. 1-0 to the even the commentator said 1-0 to the Arsenal. I was quite happy with that one. But all the drama came with the red card in the end. Lewis Skelly, Michael Oliver, best mates. It'll be the Christmas card coming in the year.
That was terrible. What I don't understand
I don't know
about
what to say,
that,
by the way.
Yeah,
I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say to this.
yeah, legit. Like
what I don't understand about that is
yeah.
that's a red card. Obviously, if it's last man, he's on his own. He's in his own half on his own.
He's nearly in the other
In
box.
the edge of the box.
Yeah, edge
Like,
of the box. And don't get me wrong, it was a counter.
I see this
but
happen.
like, I don't understand it at all. And there was no studs involved. So
It's-
it wasn't
it's
a dangerous tackle.
Declan Rice, kicking the ball 20 centimeters. Like I see that happen 5,000 times
This
a
is
season.
worse than that.
No, it
This
is.
is
But I'm
bad.
saying it's in that happens every 10 times a game, every game, every weekend, right? Like that happens all the time. This is like you would show someone that'd be like, that's a yellow card. That would be like that video with the definition
I feel like that.
Of a
yellow card.
Yeah.
Like you could show 1,000 people who watch the game,
All of that.
and I think every single one of them, there'd be no dispute. That's not a yellow. It's definitely not a red. That is like the definition of a yellow
latent
card.
yellow
right?
card.
But what have they
Like-
what
like
what
I
have
actually-
they seen? What has everyone
No,
seen?
I just
what does
think
VAR
I
seen
think it
to not
must be
overturn it?
it's not them, it's me, right? Like I just don't.
not.
Clearly, I don't know the rules.
it's not.
No, clearly, all of us and every single person on Twitter and Instagram and every single person who watches the game doesn't know the rules because
What could the rule even be?
well, clearly,
That's what I don't
exactly.
understand.
Clearly, we don't know it because like how can you adjudicate like how can you if the rule is what we believe it to be,
Wasn't
which
a
is
clear
like
goal scoring
yeah,
opportunity?
then there is zero chance any person with a brain could give it as a red card, especially someone who gets paid to do it as their job.
Was
Like,
there any studs involved that you could like argue
well,
like?
Mike Dean was trying to make the case.
This I'm saying,
on,
this
like,
is bullshit.
Sky
But-
that it's like dangerous.
That's my point. This is it's a fucking boys' club, mate. The VAR always backs the fucking on field.
I'm that sick of like
And then-
these stupid.
But what's
And
the
even-
point of
but-
VAR
but
if
se-
they're
seriously,
going to back on field? This is what I don't
This
get.
is my point as well. Though. I think it was a Brighton Everton game. The penalty was a bit meh, but like you knew it every time. Like this is again branching off, but every time they go to the box and listen
Yeah,
to their
straight
mate,
away,
they
yeah.
listen to their mate. Whenever there's a red card, they
yeah.
never overturn it.
Well,
it's
'cause-
just such
yeah.
a boys. Like they don't fucking. It doesn't
because
change.
it's
anything.
like because it's like what it's if they get told to go to the box, that means the other the VAR
their mate in the
referee
ears, like
disagrees with the on-field decision, and there can only be one unifying interpretation of the game of the rules of the game, right? So therefore, if he thinks that, then I have to think that. So you're always going to change it. Like it would actually, I think a borderline would be 100%.
I've not seen
I've never seen
a
one.
box and then
Neither.
So-
overturn. Yeah.
Like,
But it's the same with red cards.
it's just
does
the way it is.
Does VAR ever intervene in, like when you see straight reds? There's not often. There's some, but it's not often you see them overturn it because they try to be
It's-
best mates.
It's usually only when like it's a pen is selling and I know it's not even a pen because it's double jeopardy, but like you know what I mean, like where like it's quite literally the ref is saying something else, or like a handball, or, you know, like and it's actually come off the foot, like the top down.
Am I missing
That's it.
something, though?
It's never
like.
Well,
Was there studs involved that you could argue that like?
And these where we're getting. Like, that's what I'm trying to
The
do.
fact that we've won the game is going to.
foot.
The fact that we've won the game is going to like
cover it up.
Cover this up so much, and you know, it's all good. Our bad. Sorry guys. You know,
PGML coming out.
We're lucky that they got a red card for a genuine second yellow, right? You know, like that.
And I tell you what, it should have been sent off earlier.
It was definitely, and that was that. Even the second challenge was definitely more of a straight red than Lewis Skelly's, right? You know, like that was dangerous. That was studs up. He like ate his foot, like he like clobbered it, mate. So it's just like that's the annoying part. Is, you know, like there's no one gets held to account for how bad that decision is. And it's particularly because we won. You know, Mikel can just go to the press conference and be like, look, you know, if I give my opinion, I guess, you know, jail for 6 months. You know, he can do that one, right? Like, you know. Yeah.
They need to scrap it. Because at this point in time,
VAR.
Yeah, because at this point in time,
they need
if
to
they
change
make
the guys
that same
running
decision
it.
and there is no video evidence behind it, you can say the on-field ref made a bad decision.
I agree.
And everyone then goes, all right, this has happened for 30 years. The problem is at the moment, they bring this VAR out and they start putting things in like 0.1 speed, which everything looks 5,000 times worse when it's not what actually happened. Real life doesn't go in 0.1 speed.
Yeah, no, things can definitely look worse in the slow-mo without a doubt.
I agree with all of that.
Where he scrapes the ankle or something, hardly touches it or something. And I'm not saying that's in this situation, but bringing this whole like revolution of VAR into play, how many times as they brought it into slow-mo, when you look at it in real time and you're like, that's not really that big of a deal.
I just think the refs need to be better as well.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Like the fact that Michael Oliver is in front of the play and score and say, that's a red.
Sometimes I can understand that you can sometimes see something. I don't understand how it wasn't reversed.
Like I thought Serie A refs were bad and stuff, but everywhere else in Europe is so much more. VAR works better, but the referees make the right calls more often than not. For some reason, even in the Champions League, the English refs they fuck it up. English refs in the Premier League fuck it up. If I was being true, just get the League One refs and put them in the Prem, because it seems to never be a problem there.
Yeah, it's because there is no accountability, right? You can fuck up as many times as you want in this league, and they'll just be there next week, like doing Liverpool City, like, you know, like it just.
Michael's supposed to be the number one dude.
Yeah, I know.
He's just the guy in England.
Well, yeah, he was refereeing at the World Cup, wasn't he?
Like he goes Champions League games for England. He represents England.
Yeah, like
that's fucking disgrace.
He just must. I'm telling you, we must just not know the rule good enough, because like, was it given a red? Like in hindsight, was it given a red card based on it being dangerous? It had to be. That's
what the commentator said. So
it had to be.
They hear the VAR
because like,
and that chick was saying it's dangerous conduct.
Yeah, right.
That was what the commentator said, which I hear the VAR.
Look, the whole thing's ridiculous.
But if everything gets done on dangerous conduct now, any tackle that's like
Casemiro's done. His career's over because he's
any tackle that like doesn't get ball pretty much can be claimed then as dangerous conduct. Any tackle that like cleans up a bit of player, like you're the ones where like they slide under you
and they jump it.
And they might clip a bit, but it's like purely like. They've more cleaned them up with like their shin.
Gone.
You're like the ones where they like kind of clean them up with their shin more so than their foot, and they've like slided under them.
When they just snap them,
just scissor them, just fucking
like they're red cards then now.
Yeah, well based upon that specific example, then there's 5 red cards.
The best example though, if you went to like 06 and you show that to like
I don't even think that would be
like the prime Wenger Ferguson days, that's advantage. That's not nothing. That's advantage play. That would happen so often. To stop the counter attack, just take them, and you used to be fine.
Like you know, it's just the reality is that we could talk about this specific all day.
It just ruins the game.
That's what it does. It literally does.
It ruins the game, and as well, if they're now going to start playing football on these like new rules, like it goes to a point where you want this hard style of football still to have some sort of existence. Like obviously without the like injuries, but those type of tackles have never really resulted in injuries in the past. No. Like, as long as you're preventing, like, actual danger, not some guy like...
Perceived danger.
Yeah, perceived, pretty much. Perceived danger.
I'll come out and say that. Probably say perceived danger. I'll say some bullshit like that.
But, like, yeah, we can't just... You might as well make the game touch at this point. You touch the guy and it's like a turnover. Like, it's so...
It's just the inconsistencies, right? We always go back to this.
Injuries happen in games, and that's part of football.
But that's the thing. With doing the midweek and watching every other European, like, the difference is a night and day. Germany's ain't great at VAR. They know how to do VAR properly. Tick. I think the league gets it right in terms of on-field. They let it play. As much as they complain about it, I think it's better than England. England has got to be the worst. Like, in terms of the refereeing quality. Forget VAR, just the quality of the refs and the calls they make. It's got to be the worst. Like, it has to be. Every week we used to do this.
Yeah.
We always blame VAR. Why don't we just blame the refs for just being shit at the end of the day?
Oh, for sure. But we look at in the past at, like, all the best games, the best, like, eras. It was those best players, the good players getting snapped and those type of things.
Keep going, right?
Yeah, they keep going. They get back up. Like, you think about the Hazards of the world who just continually got cleaned up. Messi, all these players.
Yeah, Walcott.
Yeah. Yeah.
Starboy.
How good was that? Hazard, Messi,
Theo
Walcott.
No, but
Shamak in there as well.
It was just part of that game. It brought that rivalry in. It brought the anger. It made the games more exciting. Like, the problem is now, without goals, there is nothing else that's happening in these games.
Agree. We should talk about the goal, Calafiori. What a finish.
Yeah, what a finish.
Yeah.
You talked about, you need that hair or a back.
That is half volley to a tee.
That was a good goal.
Look, he's getting benched by Lewis Kelly, but he's had 2 clutch goals this year. So.
Yeah. 2 massive goals. Fucking hell, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that City goal still lives in my head. That was, like, insane.
Yeah.
But that was an insanely clutch goal
Bloke
as well.
is aura.
I actually thought he kind of scuffed it a little bit, to be honest.
I thought he meant it. I thought he meant the little toe poke. Yeah,
I reckon it was a bit of a scuff.
You reckon he went laces? You reckon he tried to go laces on it?
I think I'm going to see another angle, because when I watched it live, I was like, we've got a bit lucky there. Because it was kind of like a P-roll into the bottom right. Like, as in...
Classic Jose Sarre.
Yeah. Oh, well, he was good, though.
Yeah, throughout the game, because I'll tell you what, Havertz, man, oh my God.
Yeah,
We'll get on the transfer rumours in a bit.
The whole rest of the game has been overshadowed by this stupid red card.
Havertz had 3 headers, just wide open. One wasn't wide open.
But one was wide. No, one of them was wide open.
Wide
that
open.
One where it hit like the foot of the keeper. He just needs to put that left or right.
Just not
straight down the middle.
No, I know. I mean,
you need
Martinelli had one as well, though, where he hit it straight at the keeper.
As well.
Trossard had a good game.
Yeah.
Classic Trossard. Good. I kept saying he's the best good player, the worst player. He's like, top is there, ceiling. His bad games, he's just like
non-existent. Like he
didn't get involved. He doesn't touch it. It's just it's so strange.
But he's been pretty good the last few weeks
since for the injuries and stuff. And Manieri leaving.
He was obviously very good the game before.
Yeah. Player of.
Yeah.
The game.
But I don't know. Look, we got the result. That's one of those games.
Classic 1-0 to the Arsenal. Just get it done.
No, but literally considering that is literally I wonder take the 3 points.
Yeah.
Get
home. Get in the bus.
This place is shit hole.
Wolves are a shit hole.
But yeah, that's just one of them. Just forget about it. Like, remove it from my brain.
Yeah, literally, you got the 3 points. Yeah. Forgettable in the season. Quickly want to skip over this one. Liverpool fought Ipswich 1. Got it done. Gakpo double. Szoboszlai great goal. And Salah as well in their 4-1 Ipswich. It's not a game they need to be winning if they want to stay up, but they weren't that great either. Again, that's 10 goals conceded in 2 games.
So with that Leicester win, are they?
They're not still not out of it though.
But
still in the bottom.
Does it actually tie? Oh no, they are out at the moment.
Oh, they're out.
Wolves are in.
Fucking hell. Giroud, new manager bounce for Wolves and then back in. I might get that bang on. I think I had them going down, so that would be huge.
Southampton agree, mate.
I
didn't realise
that's unfixable. I know we skip over their games every single week.
They're on track to.
We say this every year. Are they going to do it? Are they going to do the 9 points?
Well, on a points per game,
they'll equal it.
Basis.
They'll equal the 9
points. Is that
points.
what it is on a points per game?
Because what? We've got 15 games.
They'll just beat it.
Shit.
Yeah, but it'll be like 9 points or something.
Yeah, no, legit. It'd be like 9.2, so just round it down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they'll equal Derby.
That's mental.
This team is
How's the goal difference?
horrid.
Negative 37. That's pretty good watching.
I don't think, they hit double digits. They're just one of those teams that you bank 3 points against every week. And if they get a point, it's 1 point.
We probably drew them. I think we slapped them up. But still,
We struggled. We only beat them like, what, 2-1, 3-1?
We beat them 3-1, but I think that was late.
It was just like unconvincing that game. But yeah, Liverpool 4-1 over Ipswich. I think Wolves might make it interesting down there, but I think they're all gone, to be honest with you. Before we get to the big game, let's talk about our underrated team of the season. We're at that end of the year.
Yeah.
Start making these teams up. All go in the 4-3-3.
Yeah.
Formation, same players.
Don't know how I feel about this team, to be honest.
Yeah, me
Mixed
neither.
bag?
My team's pretty
I'll get us.
I'm feeling pretty casual when I was making this. I was like,
same,
shit.
very
We have to,
I don't
we have to
really-
warm back up. It's been a while.
I
since
don't
we-
really know the underrated ballers anymore. But there's some...
There's some.
It's okay.
The clear
I'll go
ones.
keeper, and then we'll go keeper, and then we'll go back four. And
We
we'll
can make
start
it
that
nice.
way. I went Dubravka in goal. Just want to be different. I feel like everyone's going to go Matt Sells.
I didn't go Matt Sales, but I didn't go Matt Sales. I thought you had Matt Sales all over you, mate.
Nah,
I didn't either.
Yeah, I went Dubravka. Newcastle been killing it.
I'm pretty sure I had my guy in this team last year.
So you've gone a double whammy.
I reckon 100% I had Bernd Leno. I make a case of Bernd Leno every time this thing comes up. Just like in terms of just like
I feel like you would have.
he's just been around. I think his shot stopping is genuinely underrated. I think he's definitely a top 5 shot stopper in the league.
Mm-hmm.
He's a bit slow on the ball, but I feel like consistently Leno's just like always been around, always been a top sort of 5-6 keeper in the league, but like never really into discussion. So I always give him a shout. I'm gonna just give him a shout out every
Just whack it in every underrated team. Just whack it in.
I'm going to go with a weird one. And it's...
So no one's got
United
Matt Sells.
seconds keeper.
But no one who's got Matt Sells.
Nah.
And
I
that's
was
crazy.
sure you'd go Matt
Well, I
Sells.
thought one of you guys would. So I wouldn't.
So I've gone with one that probably hasn't been underrated over his career, maybe even semi-overrated. But no, Pickford.
I knew. Well,
You love an Everton shadow.
I knew you were going to say Pickford, but I just love how he's actually might be semi-overrated.
Yeah, what's your selling point?
I'm
we're
taking
doing
the part.
overrated. We're doing
But I think
underrated
because of
11.
all the slander he has got in the last 3 to 4 years with his
banter he gets
like,
a bit like.
he has gone so far down. Everyone just bags him that he's actually been good for
call.
18 months now. Like really good.
I would agree.
Bro still is an absolute rage midget, but hey, like
rage
midget is
every
funny.
goal fucking
probably taller than all of us.
No.
He's
He's not
T-Rex.
taller than.
He'd be 6 foot.
Yeah, he's not taller than me, man.
Yeah,
What are you talking
okay.
Not,
But, like, give or take, roughly around the...
about? How tall's his arms? 30 centimeters. He's 185, so I got a centimeter on him.
Take that. Wait, was he then 6 foot?
6'1".
6'1".
Yeah, he's got
He
me.
feels fucking tiny. He feels
He's got me
fucking
covered.
back four. I
Yep.
went Kirkez left back. Look at the Bournemouth shout out in there. He's probably going on rated at the moment. But I went Tarkowski, so Everton. Kanate, I put it centre back as well. And then Munoz right back from Palace. Kanate, I think he's probably a top
Canada's a
four.
good shout. I rate
a
that
top
from
four Premier League centre back. Like the Gabriel, Saliba, Van Dijk and him. I'm having them up there. And he never gets talked about in that debate. Tarkowski, same thing with Everton. They defend so well. And he doesn't get... It's all about Branthwaite. So Tarkowski's in there. And then Munoz normally talks about Palace. So...
Yeah, I
we'll have to get it
actually
right back.
thought about putting in Munoz.
Yeah, got a few goal contributions this season. So
But I had there was just I needed a little bit of Arsenal representation.
you're valid.
I needed one. So left back, he's borderline 9. Like he's getting rated this year, Anthony Robinson. But like, but look,
he's losing that status. Isn't he?
I know.
Yeah,
Like, he's this is like the last year he's going to be in this
possibly
team
put him in,
for sure. But I'm going to chuck him in still. I went Murillo. He's the same. Like he just signed the contract.
yeah, and he's going.
Which is an issue, like,
Yeah.
for this team. Like, you couldn't have waited a week, guys. But no, like, I still think, in terms of where I think he is in centre back echelon in the league,
Yeah.
I think he's definitely top 10 discussion.
Yeah,
right?
oh, yeah, 100%.
And then, like, pushing top 5. So it's like,
top 5. Yeah,
I think on that basis, like, there'd be a massive portion of Premier League fans who don't even know who he is anyway, because he plays for Forest. So it's like, chuck him in. I went Manuel Akanji. He's a bit of a lock in these teams, I reckon. Like, plays for City borderline every week now.
Yeah.
And it has done for like 4 or 5 years at this point.
he gets lost all the big names like Stones and Diaz.
Yeah. Like he's probably this, like, you would expect him to be 5th or 6th choice on paper, but the reality is he plays essentially 90 minutes every week.
every
now.
week. Yeah,
Yep.
And then I went Jurian Timber.
Fit Timber.
Because I think he actually, like, I think he genuinely is underrated, at least this year, in how, like, he's so good.
He's
right?
consistent as hell,
You know, and yeah, he's extremely consistent. He's very good in the, like, if you watch him on the ball, he's amazing with the ball at his feet.
Yeah.
And I need an Arsenal player in the team, so I thought everyone else is that overrated. So he's
No Martinelli in there? No.
yeah, I was going to say, yeah, Martinelli, like most overrated 11
Case for Gabriel.
Okay, well, watch the slander because I think I nearly put him in this team. Gabriel's the best centre back in the world, mate. He's that underrated.
I think he's rated now, surely.
Yeah, but he's rated. There's people catching on to his
Mate,
better than
what do you mean?
Saliba.
I think you meant, did you say case for Gabriel in terms of being overrated or underrated?
No, I'm just saying. I was saying, like, do you have a case for?
No, we have. Oh yeah, I
Being
can make a
underrated.
case for him being underrated for
You get
sure.
100%. You get 100% argument.
No, I nearly did. I nearly put him in and said because I
Same
was
as my
so.
Canales.
I've been
Same as
on
my
big.
Canales.
I know I'm getting
I reckon
attention,
there's a
but
lot
I've
of people
been
now
big
that
on.
say he's better than Saliba.
Yeah,
So
but
he
I was
has
big on
the
Gabriel.
Yeah, he went
For
early.
3 years.
He went early
when he
on
was like
Gabriel.
when Gabriel was in the meme edits of Arsenal, like for like
Yeah, receding hairlines
for doing
and-
and like the one where he like dicks the ball.
Yeah,
that one.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
I was big on Gabriel then when he was like he was handballing it in the box, just like grabbing the thing, like. And I was telling you, I was like, no, I'm telling you, this guy's really good.
Right.
And just like he's got like 2 bad moments, right? Chill, and he's come amazing. I'm telling you, if I invested in Gabriel, I'd be able to squeeze
Stocks.
All right, I've got mine. I've got Ait Nori at left back.
I know it's a bit of a lock in these teams. Yeah.
Yeah. Then I've got Konza, Tarkowski,
Yeah, same. Yeah, good call.
and
Just that one.
Livramento.
Livramento.
Yeah, I was close to putting Newcastle boys in there, but I feel like now because they're doing well,
Yeah, they're doing well.
Livramento had like young baller aura tax a couple of years ago.
Yeah, but he's come right back.
and he
in
was
when everyone-
overrated as fuck.
then he disappeared. He fucking
Yeah,
did not
yeah,
play.
yeah.
Yeah,
Could get a
Disappearance helps my case.
No, definitely. I would say like he's creeping back there now for sure.
Yeah, and the fact he's like completely benched Trippier, and no one's really spoken.
Trippier's gonna get sold apparently. Oh, it's supposed to be
about
sold.
that.
yeah,
Yeah.
Trips is just washed.
Left back Ainor is such a lock for this team. I feel like he's a staple.
Well,
of these
I was thinking of putting him, and I was like, oh, I don't know. There's like Robinson, and then there's other blokes going around, and then I was just like looking at his stats as well, and I was like, man, this bloke's like
His assist numbers
He's
are
got 3 goals and 7 assists
yeah,
from
it's
left back.
nuts.
Yeah, it's
Has
amazing.
conceded 45 goals.
Yeah,
He
I was
plays
about to
left
say- I was
wing
about to
back.
say if you watch him play, he's
He
in the
plays like a
box.
left wing
He's in
back.
the box half a game. I've legit never seen it. Maybe only Purvis is stripping it. Have I seen
Yeah.
more in the box?
Yeah,
Oh,
the
and Vardio actually gets up there a lot. But like,
But bro actually defends. Like,
Yeah,
Ainor
yeah,
does
yeah.
not defend.
Calafiore's in the box.
Callaghan's just on the bench.
My 3 in midfield. I had to get another Bournemouth shot and Cook in there in midfield. I know he's playing right back now, but still underrated for me in centre mid. Elliot Anderson, the other centre mid alongside him, killing it at Forest. Newcastle probably pissed they sold him. And then Damsgaard, which I've sort of rinsed the last few weeks, talked about in the predictions and stuff, but his chance creations ahead of Bruno this year, which is that stat Bruno owns for the last like 5 years, and somehow he's still ahead of him. In
I swear
chance created.
Odegaard was number 1 last year. But
Bruno every year is what
Every
like
year,
one
Bruno.
most chance created.
fact check.
Hollywood passes count apparently.
Gonna fact check that one.
God,
But,
I'm pretty sure. Bruno
meanwhile,
won last
I'll
year.
read out mine, but I'm gonna fact check that because I'm pretty sure my guy Martin.
What's Martin in there?
It's all he's good at. So hopefully he's
Can't put him in the
number
net, but he
Can't not definitely last in output, but okay. I've gone Christian Norgard, Mateo Kovacic, and
Kovacic is a good shot.
Alex Iwobi. So
Iwobi.
the Iwobi one was that was all you. Appreciate
Yeah.
that.
Team
But I actually
assisted
rated it.
by-
I was like, oh yeah, dude, that's a good call.
Yeah.
Kovacic was just like on the basis of the fact that like he's kind of been doing his thing. He's been serially underrated his whole career, I think.
Yeah, even at Chelsea, I
left
feel like he was-
on a free,
Yeah.
which is always kind of like
Not good enough apparently then. Like the
yeah,
club doesn't want him.
free transfers
Yeah.
are weird, like
Yeah.
especially like it wasn't a huge name going on a free, but he just went from Chelsea to City.
And just
Like-
it's cooked everything.
And City never do that as well. They always buy they tend to buy pretty
60 mil.
60 mil,
Yeah.
like young,
They love the 60 mil price tag.
young, like Bundesliga.
Yeah. Kevin De
players.
Bruyne 2.0.
Yeah,
like,
it's essentially what it is. And so that them going and getting Kovacic was just like, I feel like that kind of epitomizes him as a player on a free to
Yeah.
a massive club, to essentially the best club in the world at the point, right? And he plays.
Yeah.
And yeah, he's never really been rated. I feel like at all. People acknowledge that he's good,
Yeah, but never
but
like
not the next level, right?
yeah.
Like the reality is, I'd say him and Jorginho, like at their best, were relatively similar players, and Jorginho's best was him Ballon d'Or conversation.
Everyone was like, yeah, give him Ballon
like
d'Or.
the legit
Yeah.
was Ballon d'Or conversation, right? So like that's sort of the level there is what I think. And then Norgard, Brentford tax.
Brentford tax. But I tell you what, Kovacic's got like his resume is nuts. Real, Chelsea, City.
Yeah.
Talk about like 3 clubs
Yeah,
to
I
play
know,
at.
I
Fuck
know.
me.
And what? He's won Champions League.
Champions
all 3
League
of them.
at all 3. Yeah, it would have. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a crazy resume.
Oh, actually.
Was he?
I don't think he was at the City one.
Yes, he was.
Yeah, was
He
it?
won the treble for sure. Treble at City.
Because he's been there for 2.
So this is his 3rd season at City.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Maybe even 4.
Nah, I reckon
yes,
it's his
yes.
You reckon he
second.
missed it?
I reckon
You
it's
do
his second.
yours, and I'll check when Kovacic dropped.
I've got 2 that you both had, and then 1 interesting one. So I've got Anderson and Iwobi.
Yeah.
I think they're pretty much locks in most teams. They've been criminally underrated this season.
Yeah.
And then the one that's probably a little bit more out there is Tielemans.
That's a good shout.
So like,
It's
I
a
think
good
of it
shout.
more from the thing of like thinking back to the FIFA days. Like that bloke was like wonder kid of the century.
Yeah.
Like I remember bloke had like 92 potential when he was like 17 playing for in the
Anderlecht?
Belgian in the Belgian league.
Loves a long shot Euro
Yeah,
challenge.
yeah,
Loves
loves
a
it.
scream. Loves a screaming.
Scream,
too.
Yeah, like he was. He had like the highest ceiling that's ever existed in FIFA history. Yeah, I remember like you used to go on like
He was holding us
used
for
to go on
ransom.
Foot Whiz.
We tried to
sort
buy him
by
for 5
potential,
years.
sort by potential.
94.
He was the highest there. But then like bloke went kind of missing a little bit. Like never really lived up to that potential, and he's like finally moved over since moving over to Villa. And like probably
Well, he
more,
moved-
more
he-
so in these last 6 months
Yeah.
because his first season
Yeah, I
he
gonna
was
say,
benched.
He moved
Yeah.
over as a bit of a depth player.
Depth player. And then this last
Then they got injuries.
Yeah.
He's come good.
this last 6 months, like probably even back end of last season, he's been really, really good. And I don't know if anyone's really started speaking about him yet. So that's where
I think he saved Villa because Douglas Luiz holds massive, and he's sort of just done the Douglas Luiz
Yeah.
job, which is that's pretty underrated. But like Kovacic didn't win it at City.
I think
You're
he's-
right. He
only
joined
been there 2
the
years.
summer after they won.
He's
it.
been there 2 years.
Yeah.
It is only his second season.
So he's won 4
He
Champions
left-
Leagues.
he
There's
came when
no way
Gundo-
this is his second season.
Because
Bro, he
Gundo
came
went
when
out
Gundo
and then he
went
came
out.
in. Yeah, Gundo Barca, he went
Wow, I thought he's been there longer.
to Champions League with Chelsea and Real 3 times. He has won the Club World Cup though with every club.
He won 3
City.
Champions League at Madrid.
15, 16, 16, 17, 17. He was a part of that 3-peat.
What?
What was he playing though? Was he
Probably
like,
off the bench, but like he was a part
Yeah,
of that
but
squad.
still? That's you're off the bench on that team. That's
What
what
the
elite.
hell? I didn't know he was in that team.
Oh no, he was.
Well, no, but I didn't know he
like
was there for 3 of them.
Yeah, no.
Damn.
Probably
That's
like
him.
young Kovacic. Like
Yeah, for
getting,
sure.
Getting off the
Like,
bench.
still,
like
that's
that
crazy.
shit.
I can't believe they're still rocking around Ceballos as well.
I was about to say,
That's crazy.
yeah, Danny Ceballos.
That's the same sort of feel as Danny Ceballos.
I
All
was
right.
literally just thinking that. It's funny.
I saw him play the other day. I was like, damn, he's still going. Front 3.
Yep.
I went Eamon and Dye off the left from Everton. I saw a post today. He's probably right. He's probably the most talented player Everton's had since like Ross Barkley, like well back when. So I'd
Andre Gomez, man.
what a 4 games for Andre Gomes. I went Strand Larson up top from Wolves. I think he's got bags of talent. He's just in a rubbish team. And I went Awobi on the right because I had to get him in. I just put him at the front 3. So that's my front 3.
I went Jacob Murphy off the right.
Little Newcastle.
Yeah.
Newcastle
Yeah, I mean,
fans.
look, once again, this is one of those players like everyone probably looks at and says like, oh, he's a bum, big mouth. That's about it.
Yeah.
But the reality is,
It's
he's
crazy reference.
Like Newcastle have gone through the whole new ownership,
He's still there.
all that stuff, and he still starts. Like
Yeah, definitely in there.
they
He
shipped
starts,
off.
yeah,
They
yeah.
shipped off, buddy.
We went through that patch where he wasn't starting.
Yeah, but he's worked his way
Yeah.
back. It's pretty impressive.
They've shipped off a bunch of right wingers. I don't know what Almiron's doing. Oh my god, who was the other one? 5-star skills.
St. Maximin.
Say Max. Say Max.
Say
Max, FIFA.
I forgot. Oh my god, I forgot him. He
Gucci head.
Yeah, they shipped off all these guys. I know they want to probably get a new right winger, but the reality is he's still kicking about.
Yeah.
and makes contributions, right?
Regular
and then I
as
went
well.
Johan Visser.
This is a lock. This team is like at
Yeah,
a staple
yeah.
of the underrated level.
Especially when like within Burma at the moment, particularly getting all the credit.
Yep.
And then I went Gakpo off the left.
Which I actually rate.
I rate that as
like
well.
because he was
Every other player you're talking
he came over extremely hyped because he was cooking up in the Dutch league.
Yeah.
and then
And the
the Euro,
Euros,
World Cup,
World Cup.
Oh, was it World Cup.
Yeah,
World Cup.
World
Because
Cup.
Argentina, I remember that game. He was on fire.
And then
Couldn't
he
that one.
did nothing for like 18 months.
Yeah, he's got
it was
benched.
like-
He got
Yeah, and then now you feel like we're actually seeing a lot of output at the moment. So I thought, deserves to be in this team.
valid. I can back that in as well. Tots your
And
front
what
three?
was yours?
Yeah, so my front three is Clivert, Wood, and Ahmed.
Ahmed makes it. Is
I just-
Ahmed underrated now? Because I feel like all he gets is the attention.
Yeah, so he's getting the attention, but I think he's still for what he produces week in, week out, being able to play multiple positions.
I feel like you've gone overrated front three, don't you?
Being able to play multiple positions and stuff, I think he still goes under the radar. Like, he's been United's best player now, probably even from the back end of last season.
Since the FA Cup, mate. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
To be fair, maybe 3 months ago, if you said Ahmed, I would have really.
Yeah, before like the hat tricks and the 12 goals and 6 games.
That's probably the only issues that it's been like
timing.
as of or like quite late. He's like getting a lot of recognition because like particularly under Amarim.
oh, see, I don't know.
Yeah, he played
I don't know
every-
if I agree, though.
So far, I would say that under Amarim, he's been like the
Think about Saka at a
player,
similar time.
right?
So think about Saka at a similar time.
No, but
in his career.
Saka's
But
never.
people
Saka
would still be
was-
saying Saka was rated though. I don't
Yeah,
think he
and
was ever
also
underrated.
Saka's never gone like Saka's never got a hat trick in the Premier, I don't think.
No.
So or at all maybe. So it's like, you know, he's never really had the game where it's been like Bukayo Saka at 20 years old. No, he's just been so consistent now
And
for
he was
so
18,
long.
and he was like 18 years old.
Yeah,
as
yeah,
well.
yeah.
Diallo
Yeah,
20.
Yeah, exactly.
That's fair enough. And then I've gone Wood, and Wood's hard because everyone's raving about Wood at the moment. But I still think I think personally in my head, it's still Chris Wood. Like, he's the
but
best it's still Chris Wood. Like, he's just like clinical striker that gets you 8 to 10 goals a year, and he's
just
last
like-
18
He's just got like
months has
childhood
been
trauma. That's what I think.
yeah.
Chris Wood.
His last 18
I played soccer.
and his last 18 months has been unreal. And then Clivert probably people were talking about, but disregarding his
How's the timing on Clivert, eh?
Yeah, you've had a
Like,
rough run.
2
Both guys
hat-tricks in
have
7
both
weeks
guys
or
scored a hat trick in the last
but
few games.
I was
And
looking
he's
at
got the
more from the
greatest offside goal
performances
I've
as
ever
well.
seen.
Like he's now finally now got the contributions to back up his performances.
Yeah.
For a long time, he's
Name
like,
tags.
Yeah. For a
Crazy
long
name
time, it's
tags.
just been like
For a long time, you reckon?
he's provided great
Both I
performances.
thought it was Patrick Clivert.
No, for a long time, he's been providing great performances without the contributions, and now he's doing both. So
Yeah.
Nah, I'm taking piss. No,
So you've rattled me there with you.
Patrick Clivert.
I saw him on FIFA.
Well, how many goals do you reckon he's got this season?
Clivert in the Prem, in all comps.
No, he has.
12, 13.
Oh, no, because that was Diallo.
No, not
had
all
his
comps,
offside
just
goal.
the Prem.
Oh,
I
Prem he
know,
has
10.
11, 10.
Yeah, he's got 11 goals. That's
Yeah.
pretty.
No, it's good. It's
Impressive.
good. Yeah.
Another belter. I didn't talk about that. You got another belt on the
2
weekend.
hat tricks that way.
Yeah, 2 hat tricks. Him and Haaland. There we go. Underrated team of the seasons. Some of the best work from us here.
I love like the flow of like the casualness. I feel like in terms of like we got hardcore analysis here, and then really like I feel like I got progressively more casual.
Right. To
Mate,
the
I
end.
heard Ahmed Diallo, Chris Wood, and Clivert up front, mate.
2 hat tricks.
Combined,
And the Golden Boot winner.
Yeah, like combined like most goals. It's hilarious, mate.
Love it. Let's quickly talk about. Yeah, we'll quickly. Everton 1-0. I love the scrap at full time. That was Fisties throwing at full time, which is hilarious.
How's the bloody
David Moyes is meant to be at Everton.
Yeah.
He's just 700th game, gets the win, shit ass penalty. Ndiaye does the seagull celebration.
So how's the
That was
seagull,
so
yeah.
Yeah, like, it just had it was the ultimate.
How do you get a yellow for that?
Yeah, game was
gone.
gone the
No,
weekend.
no,
Game
no.
was so gone the weekend.
So bad.
Was
You
unbelievable.
raise it. The Kluivert's offside goal was one of the best I've seen. Even Diallo's goal last night offside was one of the best. We've had 2 offside ruled
At
out.
least it was offside though. You know?
Yeah.
Like
Like we've had, and then we got obviously
I
a
mean,
red card
borderline
and
the seagull, but a yellow card is worse than Lewis Kelly's. That's not, mate. That's not like
that ruins the
you
game.
can't celebrate
Celebrate a
anymore.
goal.
Like what?
It's like he ran
No.
to the fan
Like-
and like into like the.
It doesn't even matter.
But even then, mate, it's just like he hasn't gone over. He hasn't run over and like given them the finger and sworn like you know, and been like,
Cantona, like,
racist.
you know.
Like maybe being extremely racist would warrant like getting a booking.
Yellow
Like,
card there for
You know,
Yeah.
maybe you can't go over and say the N word, right? You probably can't do that.
couple of fans. But
Fair enough. I would understand that, but like imitating a seagull, which by the way, you could just say it was any bird. You
Yeah.
say, oh my son
eagle.
loves
Eagle.
birds. I
Yeah,
told him
yeah.
I was going to dedicate this. Like I mean, like,
you
I just don't
I've
understand.
heard
Like,
more retarded shit.
bro,
come out of,
Chunks when they did
people's
like,
players.
he did that one,
those
and then
ones.
Mason Mount,
Book him.
like,
book him.
you know, book him. Like,
Too much
he's
TikTok
mates with-
celebration,
Book him. He's mates with young Philly. You know, like,
The links, allegation. The
yeah,
link.
You went on it before.
book him. He's mates with Philly, mate.
Get him going, Reddit. On that segue, let's go to Man City 3, Chelsea 1. Was that? Oh yeah, Kusanov, what a start for the poor bloke. 3 minutes in.
Oh yeah, stiff.
I saw that someone said like Pep's such a dick. The guy comes in, doesn't speak a word of English, puts him in one of the biggest games of their season on the back of a loss, and then he makes a mistake in the first 3 minutes.
Where's he from again?
Like as Uzbekistan,
Uzbekistan,
or something like that.
Uzbekistan,
Yeah.
yeah.
Bro does not speak a bar of English.
Not even a bar, fam.
He set up Chelsea's first in the 3rd minute, and then Gvardiol once again another clutch goal to make it 1-1. Haaland 2-1. Robert Sanchez just
Marmoush got ruled out.
ruled out, an offside goal, and then Foden secured it, got the guns back out, 87th minute. But tell you what, Robert Sanchez has got to be City's man of the match in this one here. Where was he going?
Yeah, well,
He was wandering.
he's actually had the most errors lead to goals. in the
9.
Prem.
And 9 was on 4. That's what I was like.
Is that all comps? Because I thought it was 5 in the Prem. 5 mistakes.
okay, maybe it's all
leading
because
to-
SofaScore had it up and they had 9
Yeah,
to
it was
5.
like
Yeah, well, 9.
I heard the commentator say 5 errors which have led to goals.
Nuts.
Yeah, which is the most in the league, right? Like I said.
Obviously, you just shoot.
And that stat is the stat which you get dropped from. Like, to be
Sure.
honest, that's the stat where it's like, you know, like where you literally get sent to like Syria. Genuinely.
Career's done.
No, genuinely. That is like, as a keeper, the mistake stat is like the worst stat by far. You know,
It's like clean sheets. and stuff
like
that,
you know, expected goal saves is important, but it's just like the one characteristic you don't want in a keeper is a mistake-prone keeper. You just want to have someone solid
Brings
behind you.
uncertainty to the
Yeah, the whole
defenders,
thing.
all
That was
type of
like-
thing. It's a flow-on effect.
That's why, like, when you had Onana early days, it was just so grim because he was so. And to be fair, at the moment,
Still grim.
He's still doing the same thing, but yeah, it's just like, it's just so. Yeah, it's terrible. You know, you're scared about people having long shots because you're never sure if it's going to p-roll in, and as a result, the defender steps up and opens up, and you know, it's just like, it's just bad. You just need to have faith in your keeper. And it just changes the whole dynamic. You know, them on the ball, them with their hands, all those sort of things.
That was just bad. He just wandered though. He don't know. He was never going to get there, and he just wandered out of his box thinking.
But it literally was just the keeper making the wrong decision. It was just someone at the top level who just made the wrong decision in the moment where, like, you know, where someone of that caliber should be making it the right one every single time.
Yeah, it's Haaland. You're not going to beat Haaland in a foot race. I just don't. I don't understand. And he had the chance to get back. I thought he could have like pulled himself. Like, I'm not going to get here, drop back, but he kept going. And
It was a good finish. Like, he did need to get it over him, but because the reality is, like, even if Sanchez, like, he just wouldn't have been able to get there. Like, he just couldn't jump that high at all, right? Like,
no chance.
so it was a good finish in the sense that Sanchez made himself big and tried to stop it, but yeah, it was shocking. I watched that; it was shocking.
City, we still on that little. That was in 4th place, 41 points.
They could finish as high as winning the Prem still.
Yeah.
No, like genuinely they could.
We said it last week, but obviously then midweek happened.
No one
and
else is
like,
capable of winning every game from here other than City, is a reality.
And they bring in these signings, like, it might bring a little bit of an extra spark to the team out of this, like, comfortability.
A little bit extra spark,
from
mate.
the last couple of
Marmoush
years.
Tell you
60
what, I'm
mil.
so on Marmo. He's going to kill it for these guys.
All I say is, like, obviously KDB is moving on at the end of the season because, like, how you play Mamouche, KDB, Foden, all these players
at their best, I think Foden's the 10, Mamouche jumps out as like a left forward, and Savinho hugs the right touchline.
Mamouche has been playing as a 10.
He's playing as a striker with Ekatika as a 2. So
I
I think he
centre
plays him a
forward
left.
more so.
I play him as a left, like an inside forward, inside winger, with Haaland, like they did on the weekend.
Yeah.
They work off each other. Keep Savinho as wide as possible, keep him on the flat like touchline, and put Foden behind. And I reckon everyone.
Doku was actually good though, the week before.
Doku's good, but you need someone who can cross the ball. That's what Savio
just a
Savinho's job
one-on-one
is.
merchant.
No, I don't really think Doku's that good, but the reality is he had.
He
been
seems to
good.
do things for City. Like he seems to just find a way.
Mate, their team is just so cracked. I just hate it. Like, it's
Doku's
January.
just
It's
stirring
January. We're
part
4th
two.
place. Is the worst season we've ever had in 15 years. Let's go get the best
6 points
young
off
player
second.
in
Like,
the
it's
world
ridiculous.
in the Bundesliga. Like, oh, it's unbelievable, man. And then this centre back is supposed to be like, you know,
Well, yeah, because it's been killing it. Yeah.
And they don't really usually make signings that turn into bad signings. Even the bad signings, they end up selling off for 30, 40
When's
mil.
their last bad signing? Like,
Jack Grealish.
yeah, okay, Jack got 100 mil for
Like Grealish is the one,
Phillips.
and Calvin Phillips.
Those two, the two English guys. The non-English.
Mateus Nunes wasn't cited for the first year of his
been decent
season.
now.
Well, he's been okay, but he wasn't cited. And as
had
soon
a bad
as they
first
start
touch,
starting
that's
a
why.
right back, he'll be dropped.
He had a bad first touch.
Who?
Mateus Nunes.
Don't you remember that?
Who?
When Pep was like in the thing, he was like, oh, why isn't he playing? He's like, his first touch isn't up to quality.
Oh, yes, yeah.
No, look, they
Nunes has
definitely make
become
some.
a
They
good
definitely
signing.
make some bad
Yeah,
signings.
because
It's
he
just,
had
it's
to
just
play
covered
right
up
back.
because they signed so many players.
Because if all three of these nail it, Victor
Grealish
Rose.
has been terrible, but I just feel like
Mate, I think Grealish is a worse signing than Anthony. Like,
no, but it's
like
I
that
feel like that
signing
was
is so
always
bad.
going to happen under Pep. That's
I feel like it's a sadder signing because he was that good to watch, and now he's just boring.
like,
Bro
I don't
passes
feel like
back
Pep
all the
would
time.
see Grealish as that bad of a signing.
Well, he plays him a lot. He
No,
was thinking,
I don't think Pep cares about the price tag.
No.
I think
Money's
Pep,
nothing to Pep.
Say again?
Money means nothing to
Yeah,
Pep.
yeah. But I literally don't think he cares in the sense that he just wants the player. He doesn't care how much it costs.
No.
Right? Like, you know, that he doesn't care if they overpay or they underpay. He doesn't care because he knows they can afford them. So it's like with Grealish, it's like, yeah, I want Jack Grealish.
Yeah, had to get him, yeah.
You know, whether it's 30 mil or 100 mil, I don't care. I just want Jack Grealish. And they would justify it. They won the treble. They won everything. You know, like as in, yeah, like they win everything. So it's like, yeah, it doesn't matter if he's on the bench. Like, but on its own, that Jack Grealish signing, when you know, look at the money they spent and the output and the games played, it's just like it's an absolutely shocking signing.
Oh, for sure.
And from A to B, from like Villa captain,
Yeah.
like 20 goal contributions to like can't get a goal in a year. That's like, yeah, the drop off's crazy. But we are backing them in. Mamu should be crazy. I think this back end of the set that'd be a good watch. Palace 1, Brentford 2. Lucky sort of win in the end for them. Bama had a second penalty after the first one was like ruled a retake. The new sign, though, Roman Ace for Palace, another championship baller. Like he's going to be the next Elise. He scored late, make it 2-1 in the 85th minute, but keep an eye for Roman Ace in that team. Aston Villa 1, West Ham 1. Dead game, this one.
Very dead.
Very dead game. I feel like Villa, we said last week that Villa's eggs are all in that Champions League
West
basket.
Ham had that goal ruled out right at the end.
They did offside,
Yeah.
Chocek offside. West Ham were the better team in the end, I think.
Definitely, yeah.
First half was all Villa, but West Ham with that. And Wan-Bissaka, I didn't realise he could cross.
The bloke with his little little left shoulder feint down the line
just
every
crosses it.
time, like puts his hand there just to give himself like that meter.
Yeah.
Puts the ball in, like he looks alright.
West Ham fans have been pretty positive about Graham Potter in the early stages.
They've gone to Villa twice now since he's been there. They lost the first in the FA Cup, but it was 2-1. They drew 1-1. Versus, you know, Unai Emery's Aston Villa, Champions League. So it's pretty impressive. So I think they'll take that as a good point for them. We've obviously talked about the Spurs game.
Yeah, a lot
Richarlison-
Sorry, just on the Villa thing really
Yeah.
quickly. What? So if they do seem pretty heavily on the Champions
They are
League
all
thing.
in, I feel like, yeah.
What's considered a success then this season?
This is the problem.
Like,
Because
come on, let's be,
because
like,
I've
they're not
had
going to win. Like,
quarters?
It's not realistic for them to win
Yeah,
the
quarters.
Champions
like
League.
a quarter's lost to Bayern. I feel like they're going to match with a Bayern.
Quarters? Yeah, okay. Quarters sounds like a
Quarters
yeah,
are
I
like
would
top
agree.
six.
But you-
Prem finish?
But you can't get like, I think you can't get blown out in the quarter. You have to be competitive in the quarters.
Yeah.
Because you put so much effort into the Champions
That's what I'm
League.
saying.
If you
Like,
go out sad in the
That's
quarters,
the thing about like going, sort of all in on this on a tournament.
You can just be out like this with the click of your fingers. That's the problem.
And it's also like what medal do you get for fourth place? You know, like also for quarterfinals, right? Like,
and who do you draw? Like Liverpool could get Real Madrid in the round of 16.
That's probably going to happen.
Yeah, I've seen some guy do it. He said it's like almost 70% chance. Or Bayern. Bayern could get Liverpool in the first round. So there's no point
I think
finishing.
we have a good run.
And positions mean nothing because this qualifying stage, whatever they're
Yeah, I
doing,
know.
it's just like it's a lottery.
Bro, what's happening with City? They genuinely are scared to not make it. I was looking at the
Club
fixtures.
Brugge have not lost in the last 18 games.
No, I was looking
they're
at
going against them.
I was looking at the
Yeah.
fixtures. Yeah, but even if they win, they still aren't guaranteed to
but I
make it through.
think-
They're
I think
outside
the-
at the moment.
The fact that you can win 3 out of 8 though, and make it, is ridiculous.
This is the point of this whole competition.
Because 24 of the 36 teams
make it through.
Make it through to the qualifying elite stage.
3 out of 8 games.
So make it through.
Yeah, but that's 2/3 of the team, so it's really not surprising. It shouldn't even be like.
No, but I think you're saying it's bullshit though.
It's not bullshit. Like you can win 3 out of 8.
What I think is bullshit is you can finish 9th or you can finish 24th, which are two extreme.
Okay, yeah, exactly. You might have 3 out of 8 wins.
You're versing the same team. Imagine that team that finishes 9th. Like I'm pretty sure at the moment, like Brest is 9th. Yeah. Brest have to come against Man City. Like that is so unfair. It's not a joke.
But that's what the whole thing is. It's to prioritise massive round 16, massive quarterfinals.
Well, it's to prioritise every single big team also having a chance of not failing. Because if this was a normal system, Man City are completely out at the moment.
So if you lose in the qualifier, do you go Europa?
No, there's no dropping.
There's no people drop to.
That's what I'm saying. Spurs or United.
That's why Europa is so easy now to win.
Yeah.
Like it is Spurs, United, or Atletico Bilbao. That is literally it.
Lazio doing it right as well. Lazio doing very well in the Europa League.
Yeah, but doing well in the Europa League, and then back in the day, I remember there was that year.
It's Spurs. United.
I remember prime Europa League when it was that year when United had Barcelona in the round of 32 of the Europa League.
Yeah, when we were actually good under Ten Hag.
Yeah, when we were good under Ten Hag, and then the game after that, we had Juve. Then we had Juve the game after that, and then it was
and then we lost to Sevilla or something. I mean, not.
Yeah, but still, Sevilla's prime Europa.
Yeah, they are prime Europa. What was that? Oh yeah, Spurs and Leicester.
Yeah, we had a pretty big chat about that.
We're pretty
good, but good win. That's what I was going to say. It was probably the Osaka go because Rude actually wanted to leave.
Yeah, what's up with that?
I think his mental health's taking a tanky.
Yeah,
what can you do with Leicester? It has to be him wanting to leave. How can you say
that is the rumour.
This is supposed to be the last game. He was supposed to be out
so weird,
after this game. But now that they've won, I think you can't just leave on a...
Yeah.
But I feel bad for what can you do with Leicester, man? Like they're still relying on Jamie Vardy at 41 years old to bat.
Surely you can avoid relegation if things go your way.
Well, I'll tell you what, avoiding relegation for him in his managerial career would be
that'll mammoth.
Yeah, that's a massive way to fast track your Premier League managerial options. As in, you essentially lock yourself into any sort of relegation battle job.
Yeah.
For the next 15 years.
Yeah,
and you could lose half of them. You could lose all of them, and they'd still be like, you kept that.
How many Allardyce saves did he have by the end? I think he lost all the last 5 or 6 at the end.
Yeah. But it's still a big if. I know that, but they are out at the moment. But
if they can say that'd be a mammoth effort. I feel like
definitely
because on paper they look okay, but they're just not. That's not that good.
Not at all.
All right, let's finish off with our boys. 1-0 United. Yeah, Martinez the winner. Again, the weekend actually was either really good or really shit. This game was pretty average.
This was the worst game I've ever seen. The first 40 minutes, United actually didn't touch the ball. They had 3 all right chances, but again, they weren't really proper chances either.
Straight at Onana.
Martinez has scored. It's done 7 different spins, has come off all these people, then floated in the top corner.
Yeah.
And then after they scored, the game obviously opens up a bit because now Fulham are pushing on to try to get the equaliser. United saw a few chances with that offside Ahmed goal at the end.
That was
amazing. Bloke is just unreal. Yeah. But yeah, I don't even know what happened in this game.
Toby Collier clear off the line. That was a massive moment.
That's probably that and the goal were the only 2 things that happened in the whole game.
Yeah.
Otherwise than that, there wasn't even chances. There was the Bruno free kick that went under the wall. That was all right. But apart from that, what was there?
Our first shot on target was our goal.
Yeah, exactly.
They had 5 shots on target and they were all literally at Onana.
Yeah, straight at Onana.
It was one of those classic...
That's the strategy now. Just hit it at Onana.
And hope
that it'll go in 1/6 of the time. They only had 5 shots. Damn.
One more. One more shot. We were supposed to talk. We saved it from last week. You haven't been on for a long time.
No.
Just give your overall thoughts. Because we just wanted to hear from you and your overall thoughts.
Yeah,
on United, obviously.
Just the club. Just the club in general.
Well, no, because what's happened since...
I'm going to be honest.
Well, because what's happened since we were probably last
Amarin had... I think we started off. We had Ipswich.
Wait, so Ten Hag wasn't in the job still?
No.
Fargo.
I've definitely done a podcast whilst Amarin was actually coaching.
Yeah, I think it was Ipswich game or something. Or maybe the one after that.
Yeah, it's obviously interesting. I like the way Amarin's going about it. That in the sense that he's continually playing his straight back. I feel like by now, and this was probably the flaw of Ten Hag would have swapped something around. Like by now, if you go look at Ten Hag's first couple of games, he had his way, lost, and then goes, okay, the players don't suit my game, I'm changing. Whereas I think like Amrin, not saying that we've seen a clear like philosophy from Amrin, but he could very easily have gone back to a back four, probably secured maybe an extra 6 points by now. Yeah. Like all this type of stuff. He's continued his back three, continued with the players. Like had his thing of, if you're like with the Rashfords, being strong on that, all that type of stuff, like gone, you know what, it's not your time anymore, pretty much type thing. Yeah. He goes, you're past it these days. Like, even with Garnacho to a degree, however, Garnacho has been playing. I do think
Garnacho's like out the door.
Yeah, we'll get into that. We'll finish off with that.
He started
some of the rumours, but
yeah, but he's.
No, I know he's out the door, but I think it's him pushing it more than Amarin actually wanting to go.
My take on the Amarin thing, really quick, is that, like, just straight off the bat, as a neutral fan, like Amarin just gives me way more confidence in like a longer term project than Ten Hag ever did.
Well, you called it early, so I'm backing you in here again.
Yeah.
You were off Ten Hag.
I don't know how I said it. Well, yeah, I was off Ten Hag earlier, extremely early.
Oh,
and Amarin, I don't know if I've said it. I don't know if I've said it on record. But
Nathan said it as well. He said, "I hate that United got actually a respectable manager."
But no, like genuinely, like if Amarin was in charge of my club, and you know we were in your position, he's for sure a manager I would look at to say he can get us out. Like, you know, over a couple of periods with a bit of, you know, good investment, he can get us out of this. Whereas I just never had that vibe with Ten Hag. He always felt like a bit of a, you know, chasing like a quick success story, sort of thing. Whereas Amarin, I feel like, you know, there's a process there. I'm like,
how patient. The thing I go back to is two things. First of all, like, how patient are United though? And don't get me wrong, they're patient enough. But I've already heard from fans, Amarin.
You gotta be.
I've already heard it though. Like on
the only thing that was chanted for full 90 minutes against Newcastle was Amarin's Red Army the whole way through. There was boosts of players. There was
I do get that. But like, I've seen a few things, and obviously it's like fake United fans and all this stuff.
I'm never backing social media.
No, I'm not backing it either. But all I'm saying is, like, how long? I think that I'm not saying that United need to do much this season, but United can't continue till the rest of the season. And obviously he's not going to get sacked at the end of the season. I'm not saying that. But United can't continue to the rest of the season in this same sort of like run of form, because although we don't have the players, we still have all right players. Like, we've still got enough quality in that dressing room to say that. I'm not saying, and obviously he's flipped the whole dressing room around in terms of when he's come in, his philosophy, and that's going to take time, especially we're talking night and day between what he's like, what he's saying, what Ten Hag was saying, in terms of Ten Hag was more result. We're about let's play now. We'll worry about the results later, and that's going to have a longer lasting effect on the dressing room, 100%. But it becomes a time, and I think that time is prior to next year, where I'm not expecting them to go on a 10-15 match run, but I'm expecting it to kick on slightly. Like, it can't be like, oh, well, we're on 29 points after 23 games at the moment and we finish on 45 points. Like, it can't be that type of stuff. It needs to be like, at least we see a little bit more, because the dressing room now has had 15, 20 games under a system. We're talking about players and tacticians in this like era now who they study the game night and day. They need to be able to pick up things after 20 games a little bit more than what I've seen right now. Like, even that game against Fulham, like, yeah, we got a result in the end of the day, but there wasn't much going on.
The thing, I think, is the difference.
It's very early, though. He
said it as well. Europa League would look better because the players have time on the ball. These players can't play under the Premier League pressure, that's what he said. And I would agree with it, because last night, look at it. We said that last week with Ugarte, and I said it. When United play well, Ugarte and Manu stay on.
Yeah.
When United are playing shit, you look at 60 minutes every single time we've been losing, Ugarte and Manu are dragged. We don't know how to play through the lines yet under Premier League pressure. Under Europa League pressure, Rangers, they were tired, they were injured, they gave us space, we could play through, we played much better. But last night we couldn't play through the lines, we couldn't hold possession. I think that's the one big problem.
I'm completely agreeing with you, and this is why I'm very, very optimistic. All I'm saying is it needs to start, even if it's little.
You start seeing it,
in games. It doesn't need to be a whole game and stuff like that. But we need to start seeing it now. Like, it wasn't the thing of like that first couple of games when he came in. He didn't have he hadn't even had time to basically work out what was going on. The players had no clue what was going on. But now it's getting to think of 20 games in. These players need to start to show just a little bit more. I'm not expecting much, but a little bit more. Would you agree with that?
No, I'd agree with that. Your thoughts? Anything to add to that?
Well, my only thing is that like what I think makes a massive difference at this stage in like a manager's career is like I really do think what you say publicly matters a lot. And I like in terms of press conferences, all those sort of things. And I just feel like Ten Hag from the get-go always had like quite a defensive, like, you know, like felt like he was always quite aggressive and like felt like he was getting attacked all the time early days by like the media and stuff. And so that was one of the main things as well, which like, you know, you were saying before about patience, right? I feel like fans and clubs are willing to give patience to the people they think are right. And I think Amarim from the get-go, like, you know, he's convinced me that like he deserves time regardless. You know, like it's just as in the messages he sends. As you said, it's not about like, you know, if I was a United fan, I don't think I'd care about any results now over the next rest of the season anyway, because I don't think, or at least in the Premier League, right? Like, you know, there's nothing to play for in the Prem anyway. So, or not a lot. So it's like, you just want to see that, the players are adopting the system.
But that's more. I'm not necessarily talking about results. Like little bursts in games.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying as in the fact that is what Amarim is sort of preaching at the moment is all about like system and you know, playing his way and you're just showing more commitment and those sort of like, you know, pretty quite qualitative things. And for me, like, you know, as that does a lot for me as a fan in terms of like, on that basis, I literally would I've already seen enough from Amarim as like a, you know, as like a person managerially, where I think he has much more potential in his future at United than I do with Ten Hag, you know, and I feel like this is pretty consistent over like a lot of managers' careers. Like, you know, Mourinho towards the back end of his career, like was always quite negative and like results. Look what I've done in the past.
Yeah. And
he didn't really achieve much ever since. Like, you know, like I feel like you can sort of read. Like I look at Mikel. Mikel was very processed, very, you know, early days. Heavy. And okay, people say, what have we won? Well, we've taken the club from absolute shitter to being, you know, the reality is one of the best clubs in Europe, even though we don't have the trophies to show for it.
I think he's been very disadvantaged as well, Amarim. Like, he's been asking for a left back, and it doesn't even look like we're going to get our man.
Well, yeah, you're not going to get, the reality is you're not going to get all the players you want for at least 2-3 years. No, it takes 5 to 6 transfer windows, right? There's obviously key areas you need to address straight away, but like that is, you need like at least 4 windows to sort of start implementing what you want.
Especially with the current financial situation as well.
Probably even longer. Like the reality is this Jan window, like borderline doesn't even count because you're not going to spend any money. You're already like sort of, you have your legs cut off a little bit in that sense. And he's just sort of come in as well. So it's like, this is like, it's kind of positioned in a bad time, this window. Maybe for people to leave, like Garnacho and stuff, which is also very important as well. You know, Ten Hag didn't do enough. They didn't get rid of Deadwood fast enough. Yeah. Like I know they want to re-sign Maguire, but I don't reckon he'll be there for much longer. Maguire just sort of, to me, like, if you're Amarim, Maguire just sort of like embodies past regimes at the club and a lot of the bad energy at the club. Yeah, for Whereas Amad Diallo is sort of like the new guy, where like, and he can carry the club forward. But he's going to need a lot of help. He's young. You know, like he's going to go through dry spells and stuff. But if Bruno can, like, you know, sort of keep performing well, you know, and like and just like be a leader and stuff. Guys like Diallo around him, and even those like Xerxes and Hoyland up front and stuff can sort of do their thing and build a bit more confidence and give the fans a bit more or something.
Good we talk about that. We'll finish off on this. I'll lift up a few transfer rumours / confirmed ones. Hear your thoughts. On your grade for these guys. So I'll start with some of the linked transfers. Cunha to Arsenal. I'm giving it an A triple plus.
Oh, in terms, so how are you
rating? I'm giving it a C, and I'm going to tell you why. It embodies in me a lot. It isn't, again, a striking option, in my opinion. And it's going back to the same semi thing with
Okay,
like
so
a
where would
Havertz.
Mateus Cunha play for us?
He would play striker, but he's not an
Where's he
out-and-out
play for
striker.
Wolves?
I don't think he's an out-and-out striker.
No, he might. He's not a 6
But,
foot 10.
yeah,
like,
but he can head the ball. He can
But he's
hold
not
the ball
an
up.
out-and-out striker, so it's again this like
Yeah,
player
but-
it's a Kai Havertz part too.
No, I
He's
disagree.
better than Kai Havertz.
No, but it's not about whether he's better or not. It's
we
Kai
signed
Havertz
Havertz and he was
part two.
playing centre mid.
Yeah, but
Like-
Kai Havertz is a tall ball playing player that's being forced into the number 9. Cunha is a false 9 or a
do you know
10.
what? And do you know what I
that
think
can
that
score goals.
works perfectly for us? People keep saying for Arsenal, like, oh, we need like this like out and out striker. I'm
Shit
telling you, if you watch us play, an out and out striker would get F all chances in a game anyway. Like, no, I'm telling
You
you.
just have to just put it away.
Like, I'm telling you, when we are best at the moment, it was with Gabriel Jesus, and the problem with Jesus is that he couldn't finish. Like,
Cunha finish.
everything else about Jesus was perfect in what we wanted as a striker.
Yeah.
Good in the ball, good at, like, relatively good hold up play, makes runs in behind, all those sort of things. And its problem was he just couldn't finish. He wasn't finishing enough before he got injured. Then he kind of hit a purple patch.
Yeah.
Whereas Cunha, I just think is like a Gabriel Jesus who can finish.
He can finish, yeah. And he's younger.
And younger. Probably just a better all round game. I agree. As high as I can
triple
go.
plus.
As high as
I'd
I can
go with that, yeah.
Spend all the money.
Garnacho to Napoli. I put an A+ for this one.
I put an A.
They go to Kvaratskhelia, need a left winger.
I think
I've
he works
never
so
heard-
well.
I've never heard anyone say his name out loud. So that was impressive.
I've
How
mastered
do I
saying
say
that
it?
guy's name.
Say it again.
Kvicha, first name. Kvaratskhelia,
Yeah, right.
last name.
Yeah, I'm not trying that.
Master the
I'm
last
not trying
name.
that. I don't want to be memed today.
No.
But
They need a left winger
no,
for
they
winning
need
a
a left
title.
winger, and I think as well, like under their playing style, he will
I was
flourish.
just say Garnacho in Italy just like makes sense.
Mate, Conte, Scott McTominay
Oh,
through
it's
midfield.
not. It's actually like unbelievable. Like Garnacho is never succeeding under an Amarin style. He has to play as basically a 10 or a wing back, and that's never. He's never going to succeed. His price tag is just going to go down the longer he stays at United.
I want him to stay because I like
I
him as
want
a
him
player.
to stay, but I feel like we want him to stay because we would be pissed off if for some reason Amarin left and then a manager that suited his style came in.
That and the fact that he's still 21.
But I just
and
don't see how he plays in this system.
I still think he can have a way to develop into that number 10 role. But I do agree.
I'd
for
see
Napoli,
him more being able to develop into a striker than a number 10, to be honest.
potentially. I think he's not strong enough.
Garnacho, yeah, sort of B plus, A areas,
areas,
a
yeah.
transfer.
Cunha's second option, Nottingham Forest. I'll put B for this one. I think they desperately need a Cunha.
So
Yeah,
Forest
I'll put a B.
Forest are trying to act like they're all of
big
a sudden
boys.
they're actually big boys now. Chill out. Save the money. Save your money.
See when you got it.
Because they're going to be because Nuno's going to do what Nuno does, and they're going to be 18th next year and then get relegated.
Relegation battle with Cunha.
So look, no, I hate that transfer.
Yeah.
Cunha, I hate it for Cunha.
I hate the club as well.
I mean, look, it's cool it'd be cool for Forest for now, but like, I don't like
You're
that.
telling me you're
I
going to
don't
have
like that. I don't like that
Morgan
transfer.
Gibbs White, Awonyi, Anderson. How many players do you need
It's just,
in that role?
it's just C,
Yeah.
D.
That's-
No, I don't like that transfer at all.
Blanket, no. All right, another United player, Rashford to Barcelona or BVB.
I think both of them are A's.
I think
I'm
I
going-
don't love Barca.
I'm going a B minus for Barca. I'm going a minus for Borussia Dortmund.
Yeah,
I just think whichever of those two he goes to, he flourishes.
I just don't know how much he plays at Barca.
I don't think he works in the La Liga.
Yeah,
He's not skilled enough on the ball.
BVB like works because their track record with these players as well.
Sancho.
Like,
Literally it's gonna be
it's
Sancho.
But I don't
like-
think it's. Well, I was listening to something the other day. It's just not what BVB need as well.
No,
Well, yeah,
of course not.
No, because what's going to happen? Adiemi might go to Napoli.
Yeah.
Which means Garnacho stays with us, and Rashford then goes to Dortmund.
I don't. Out of Rashford and Garnacho, Rashford's the one I don't see leaving. There's just too much wages involved. There's too
I'd rather
much.
him go there.
There's too much like bad shit that's gone on in the last 2-3 years now, where maybe people are starting to have that doubt of whether he has it anymore. Whereas Garnacho's this young player coming through, and I think with Garnacho it's more like, oh, he just doesn't suit Amarin's system. Whereas Rashford has shown he doesn't suit football at the moment.
Jeez. Let's leave the game for the game.
Rashford
with
to
you
Barca,
guys.
C plus. Rashford to Dortmund, B.
Yeah, so we're sort of
okay.
similar areas, you and me. This is another one, the same club. Johan Visser to Forest. I also put B.
I'm not liking these Forest striker rumours, eh? I'm not
Yeah,
liking
they're in for both of them.
Nah, I hate it as well.
I'm going. You see, I'm my back. I'll just go C as well.
I don't like that.
You've already got Chris Wood, and you already re-signed him.
I don't understand what. Yeah, I don't like that at all.
Literally just re-signed. I'm sure they re-signed Chris Wood. John Duran to West Ham's come back up again. Considering
big A, bro. I don't know if you're Duran and you want to do
this
that.
So
West
big
Ham
A
for West Ham,
player
C for Duran.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I'm.
A for club, C for
West
player.
Ham signing strikers.
Yeah, it's cursed. It's cursed.
C. Don't like it.
But they need a striker, so that's why it's a massive
club A.
It's a massive A.
Player
New managers
C.
come in. I feel like he'd actually do
No,
well
because I reckon Duran's overs anyway.
You reckon he's all that?
I reckon Duran is like he's been in amazing form off the bench, so his stats per 90 and all those things are amazing. No, Duran is good.
Bloke in the Champions League has been unreal.
He's good, but like I'm telling you, he's overs. Nah, I don't love it. I'm going C minus. I don't like West Ham signing strikers.
No,
I don't know. They've got to find one. So what are you going to do every?
Yeah, but don't. Yeah, maybe don't sign Nick Fulkrug when he's 30 years old, and don't sign Skamaka. You know, like I don't like the Durant. Sign a young guy in a different league. You know, who's 25
I've tried that. Skamaka was that exact example.
Yeah, but he was a big boy, Skamaka. It was Mikel Antonio,
here we
just
go. Big,
like just taller. Like he was. They need to sign someone. Anyway, they signed Danny Ings, mate. Like what are they doing? Like
I was gonna do this one, but Douglas Luiz to Man City is not happening. I saw it pop up the other day.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening with. Is he splitting up with Alicia again?
Yeah, what's the thing? I thought he
was. Doesn't play.
Is he broken up with the missus again? Like they're both at Juve. So
yeah, I thought he was done with Juve, but
Bloke does not play.
I don't understand what
he's
happened.
playing behind Locatelli, which is a bit grim.
But I don't actually understand what that transfer was.
It's because he's not getting play time.
But did they just want to? No. But I'm saying is in like, why did he move to Italy?
Like it was promised game.
I just don't get it. Like, were they sick of the weather or something? Because
the weather.
No, like sick of the weather in England because like
I think he just wanted
because he moved.
Juventus is supposed to be a step up,
and they've been there. I know, but like he had other options. And he's been there 6 months.
He hasn't played. I don't know if the guys even started 10 games.
Yeah, right. Well, I mean,
they're playing McKennie over him. So
hypothetically to City, I don't hate it. Like probably like a B.
Yeah, I had it as a B.
It's a bit weird though.
B plus, but again, he's probably be so deep in that City team.
Yeah, I was about to say.
I'd start Kovacic over him right now.
Yeah, I don't think he plays. Right.
Then some of the confirmed ones: Marlon for 20 mil to Villa. I went B plus. I think
I like that.
I'll go C.
No, I like that. I go B.
I think he's just another one that's going to come and just fail in the Prem.
You think so?
Yeah. But for 20 mil, you can take the risk.
Yeah, I think it's a good price tag.
That's what I'm saying. I think it's a really good price.
And Bailey hasn't been that guy this year, unfortunately. Philogene to Ipswich from Villa for 20 million as well.
Would I rather Marlon for 20 mil? You can get Philogene for 20 mil.
The price tag's a little bit interesting considering he hasn't proven himself, but Ipswich need to take any way they can get, so I put it as an A.
That seems a bit like a Cam Archer, like.
Yeah, I agree.
What's the thing? He did good for Hull in the Championship, got recalled to Aston Villa, hasn't played, and is going back to a team playing.
Yeah, I'd just go like a B.
B?
Like,
yeah. It's a good comparison, like to Cam Archer.
He's not gonna keep him up, put it like that.
Yeah, he's just there to give him some spark.
Yeah, he's probably like going to provide a spark, score a couple of goals, but it's like just like dies off a bit. When they're when the ship's up, he's all right. When the ship's down, the bloke doesn't actually exist. Yeah. They're playing with 10 men.
Yeah.
10 men. He's been bold today.
Wait, just retire from football, Rashford.
Yeah, you're done. You don't suit football, it's done. Marmouche to City. This is another A triple plus for me. That's just personal. I just love this guy.
Touching on something, I was listening to like some Insta reel.
You're not sold, are you?
I was listening to some Insta reel. I'll try and go quickly.
Yeah.
Of like that chick that was going out with Rashford on Love Island.
Well, she said something.
Right.
Yeah, she did something. She was talking about this whole thing, and she was like, oh, you know, when I was
when I was
going out with Rashford, she was like, oh, he scored 2 goals. So every United fan, I got 50,000 in my comment section of like Queen and all this kind of stuff because he hadn't scored for ages and he scored. Which game was it? I actually remember this. Yeah,
this season, yeah.
It was this right at the start under 10
Everton.
Yeah,
he won 4-0 and he got 2 goals.
When Xerxes scored 2 as well.
Marmouche, real quick.
You're not sold. I'm a feeling.
No. I really like Marmouche. I just don't think
the Pep.
I just don't love him in the City team where like I agree. I think he's best at 10.
Yeah.
And
they've got those players.
Yeah, there's just so many options up there. I feel like Marmouche is one of those players where in maybe a year or two we'll look back and be like he's just got a little bit lost. in his career.
Do you
And
think
how
Leroy
did our
Sané type
winger-
areas? You sort of feeling like
Not as bad. Like, I just feel like he's just another one City are signing for a big price tag who will never be able to who will never reach their true potential because they'll only get so many minutes.
maximise
the two
it.
locks in that team are Haaland and Foden. They're the ones who going forward. They're the ones who are going to play
And
all
that's
the
sort of your
minutes,
role.
right? And then the rest of them is like
And you have to put out of position.
rotate. And I just don't love it. So it's a great signing for City.
Yeah.
I just don't know about Marmoush. So I'd go B plus A still. Like it's not a bad signing, but
Yeah.
I like that. Good app.
yep.
Covered a lot.
Yep.
Got the
Great.
United
Great-
recap.
great
done.
to be back.
We've been waiting months for that United recap.
Yeah. Feeling energized, ready for.
We got to get a few in a row. I feel like.
Oh, for sure.
Start of the season.
It's a good time at the moment. Like,
And we're coming.
We're peaking.
And we're coming to the back end of the season, which is always the good stuff.
We're peaking
Exactly.
for
We'll
sure.
bring the list back in soon as well. That'd be good.
If I keep saying we'll speak Liverpool's drop off into existence, like we did last year.
If
speaking
Liverpool,
into
if
existence.
Liverpool don't drop off, man, Flynn will officially retire.
Okay, well,
definitely not.